Companies across the United States are investing in artificial intelligence at a scale never seen before. This wave of spending has become a major force behind recent economic growth and has pushed AI into every major conversation about the future of work. But inside actual workplaces, the reality looks very different. Most companies are still in the earliest stages of adoption, and many employees do not yet know how these tools will change the work they do every day. Recent studies show that 95% of workplace AI pilot projects have failed to produce meaningful results. The technology continues to advance quickly, but organizations struggle with training, culture, and practical execution. A busy office building in New York shows this contrast clearly. Employees move into a conference room as a presentation about the company's AI plans begins. A large display shows steeply rising graphs that highlight the enormous amount of money being poured into new systems and tools. The presenter speaks with confidence about efficiency, automation, and the promise of faster workflows. But the expressions around the room do not share the same certainty. A manager in the front row listens carefully, yet his face reveals more hesitation than excitement. Two employees near the back exchange quiet looks, unsure whether this shift will simplify their tasks or add new responsibilities they are not prepared to handle. Others flip through handouts, trying to imagine how these tools will blend with the routines that shape their daily work. The presenter continues, explaining that AI will eventually reshape the organization. But many in the room feel that the preparation has not matched the ambition. Training remains limited. Expectations remain unclear. And the systems feel distant from the real pressures and complexities that define everyday work. When the meeting ends, employees return to their desks, carrying a mixture of curiosity and concern. Some see opportunity in this shift. Others see disruption. Most recognize that the path from investment to real impact is far longer than the numbers suggested. Across the country, the pattern repeats. Spending on AI reaches historic levels, yet actual adoption inside workplaces moves slowly. The gap between technological promise and practical reality grows more visible each day. Employees watch new tools being introduced, while managers try to determine where these technologies truly belong. Momentum is strong, but readiness is uneven. And in the midst of this tension, the key question becomes unavoidable. If AI is expected to reshape entire industries, why are so many organizations struggling to use it effectively in the most basic tasks? If this is the current state of adoption, can AI truly replace the work that humans do? Inside many American workplaces, the reason becomes clearer the moment people begin using these tools. The technology may be powerful, but the knowledge required to use it well has not spread evenly across the workforce. Some workers experiment with AI every day and slowly discover how to integrate it into their tasks. Others hesitate, unsure of what these tools can do or how they might affect the responsibilities they have carried for years. This difference in comfort and confidence creates a wide gap between workers, even when they sit only a few seats apart. Managers expect productivity to rise as new systems roll out, but the results often fall short because most employees have not received the training needed to use these tools effectively. Companies introduce new platforms with great expectations, yet many workers see only another unfamiliar screen, another set of instructions, and another tool they do not fully understand. In one office, a customer support team begins a training session meant to teach them how to use an AI assistant. The presenter explains the features, the shortcuts, and the benefits, but the reactions vary across the room. A few employees learn quickly and begin experimenting with sample tasks. Others stare at the interface, unsure where to start. Some try to follow the instructions, but grow frustrated when the results do not match what they expected. By the end of the session, the gap between experienced users and beginners has grown even wider. This is the pattern seen across many industries. The technology advances at remarkable speed, but organizations struggle to keep pace because their people are not being trained with the same urgency. Tools promise efficiency, but without proper guidance, they become confusing or underused. Leaders imagine faster workflows, but employees feel the pressure of learning something that seems complex and unfamiliar. In this environment, even the most advanced systems cannot deliver the improvements that companies expect. Another challenge sits quietly in the background. Workplace culture has not adapted to a world where humans and AI work side by side. In some teams, employees fear making mistakes with new tools. In others, people worry that using AI too well might be misunderstood as trying to replace their colleagues. These concerns are rarely discussed openly, but they shape how workers behave and how quickly new systems are adopted. The result is a slow and uneven rollout that reflects human hesitation far more than technological limitation. The more these systems spread, the clearer it becomes that the key issue is not whether AI can replace people. The real question is whether people can learn to use AI in a way that strengthens their work instead of complicating it. This shift reveals that the future of work depends less on the speed of innovation and more on the ability of workers to adapt, learn, and transform alongside new tools. And as this tension deepens, a new question rises. If training and culture shape the limits of AI adoption, what kinds of work can AI truly replace, and which tasks will always require a human hand? To answer this, it becomes important to look at work not as a single role, but as a collection of many smaller actions. A job is rarely one thing. It is a mix of decisions, habits, routines, and responsibilities that shift throughout the day. This is why technology does not replace whole professions at once. It replaces only specific tasks inside them. Labor economists have spent years observing this pattern. They explain that most occupations contain tasks that follow predictable rules and tasks that demand human judgment. AI excels at the first group. It can read documents quickly, organize information, and perform repetitive actions with impressive speed. But when a task requires interpretation, negotiation, or emotional awareness, AI reaches its limit. The structure of work becomes clearer the moment these differences are separated. In real workplaces, the impact appears in small steps rather than dramatic shifts. AI reduces the time spent on tasks that require sorting information, generating drafts, or handling routine requests. Customer service teams use AI to filter common questions so that workers can focus on more complicated cases. Finance teams use AI to check large sets of numbers while people interpret the results. Writers and analysts use AI to create early outlines, then rely on their own experience to craft the final message. Across industries, these changes do not eliminate jobs. They reshape how time is spent inside them. There are also tasks that AI consistently fails to perform well. Any work requiring trust, negotiation, or personal understanding stays firmly in human hands. People rely on facial cues, tone, and context to guide decisions that software cannot fully interpret. Leaders make judgments based on intuition built over years. Care workers rely on empathy rather than efficiency. Teachers adjust their approach by reading small changes in a student's expression. These moments cannot be automated because they are grounded in uniquely human perception. As these differences become clearer, a larger trend begins to emerge. Jobs do not disappear. Their internal structure is rearranged. The routine layers shrink while the human-centered layers grow more important. Workers spend less time repeating the same steps and more time handling the parts of their job that require interpretation, creativity, or connection. The workplace slowly shifts from task-driven to judgment-driven, from procedure to meaning. This shift raises a deeper question about the future of labor in the United States. If AI removes only certain tasks instead of replacing entire roles, is it reducing human work? Or is it creating space for new forms of work that did not exist before? Across the United States, a noticeable shift is taking place inside many companies. Instead of eliminating roles, AI is generating new positions that depend heavily on human oversight, judgment, and responsibility. These roles are not about replacing people. They are about guiding the technology that now supports the workplace. One of the fastest-growing areas is AI validation. Companies rely on people to check whether AI-generated results are accurate, safe, and aligned with company standards. This work demands careful review because even small errors can lead to real-world consequences. As a result, validation teams have become an essential part of AI adoption, ensuring that each output reflects the quality of business needs. Another expanding field is data cleaning. AI systems perform well only when the information they receive is clear and well organized. Many companies now hire specialists who prepare data sets, remove inconsistencies, and structure information so that AI models can function reliably. This task is tedious but crucial, and it highlights a simple truth. AI depends on humans long before it generates a single response. Prompt design is also rising as a valuable skill. Workers who can communicate with AI effectively are becoming important to teams that rely on these tools each day. They define instructions, shape the tone of responses, and translate business goals into prompts that the system can understand. This role requires creativity, clarity, and an understanding of how AI interprets language. It is not automation. It is collaboration. Risk management forms another layer of new work. As companies adopt AI, they also need people who can evaluate potential errors, privacy concerns, and ethical issues. These responsibilities cannot be automated because they involve accountability. Someone must judge the risks, record the decisions, and explain the reasoning behind them. These are tasks that rely on human awareness and professional responsibility. Quality supervision is also becoming a central part of AI-driven workplaces. AI can produce large amounts of work quickly, but teams must verify that the final results meet company standards. Supervisors check tone, accuracy, and consistency. They guide the system's direction and make final decisions when outcomes are unclear. The more AI expands, the more important these supervisory roles become. What emerges is a new labor structure where AI handles some of the repetition while humans rise in responsibility. Instead of doing the simplest tasks, workers are shifting toward roles involving interpretation, correction, and stewardship. The workplace becomes more human at the moment, it becomes more automated. This reveals something important about the future of work. AI is not replacing people. It is creating roles that require even more human judgment, creativity, and care. And this leads to a new question. If so many of these changes rely on human guidance, why are companies focusing less on replacement and more on augmentation? Across the United States, the direction becomes clear when looking at how major organizations actually use AI each day. Despite the attention surrounding automation, most companies are not trying to remove workers. They are trying to strengthen them. Cisco, Google, and Multiverse all show the same pattern. Their leaders describe AI not as a substitute for people, but as a tool that expands what people can accomplish. The goal is not to shrink the workforce. The goal is to increase the value of the work that remains. One of the biggest reasons is responsibility. AI can generate results, but it cannot take accountability for them. Every critical decision still requires a human to stand behind it, explain it, and accept the consequences when something goes wrong. In fields like healthcare, finance, and public service, responsibility is inseparable from human judgment. Companies cannot hand this obligation to a system that cannot be held responsible. So instead of replacement, they use AI to support the people who carry that responsibility every day. Another reason is accuracy. AI can produce answers quickly, but it does not guarantee that those answers are correct. Businesses cannot rely on a tool that occasionally makes factual mistakes without warning. This uncertainty forces companies to place humans at the center of every AI-assisted workflow. Workers must review results, verify details, and guide the system when it drifts away from what is needed. The faster AI becomes, the more important this human checkpoint becomes. A third reason lies in emotion, context, and interaction. Many parts of work cannot be reduced to information. Teams rely on trust. Customers rely on empathy. Managers rely on subtle cues when making decisions about people, conflicts, or uncertainty. AI can analyze patterns, but it cannot understand meaning the way humans do. Companies know that relationships, negotiation, and leadership come from human interaction, not automated responses. So they treat AI as a support layer, not a replacement. Across workplaces, the pattern is consistent. AI removes repetitive work, but makes human-centered work more important. Employees spend less time on routine steps and more time on interpretation, collaboration, and problem-solving. Managers use AI to simplify tasks so they can focus on decisions that require clarity and judgment. This is why the shift toward augmentation is stronger than the push for replacement. Companies are discovering that AI performs best when it lifts human potential instead of competing with it. If the direction of AI in American workplaces is augmentation rather than elimination, the next question becomes unavoidable. What is AI actually changing if it is not removing workers? Across the United States, the answer is becoming clearer in the lives of employees, young workers, and the middle class. AI is not transforming the number of jobs. It is transforming who benefits from them. The biggest shift is happening in wages. People who learn to use AI effectively are beginning to move ahead. They complete tasks faster, manage more complex work, and take on responsibilities that require higher levels of judgment. Companies reward these skills with stronger pay and better roles because they depend on people who can work alongside advanced systems. For these workers, AI becomes a multiplier of opportunity. But the opposite is true for those who struggle to adapt. Workers who avoid new tools or remain unsure of how to use them find their roles becoming narrower. They spend more time on tasks that AI is already beginning to automate. Over time, these tasks lose value inside organizations and offer fewer opportunities for advancement. The job remains, but the path forward becomes slower and less certain. This creates a widening gap between those who grow with the technology and those who stand still beside it. This shift is also visible at the entry level. Young workers who enter the labor market today face a new expectation. They are not only expected to complete their work, they are expected to work with AI as part of their day-to-day responsibilities. Those who adapt quickly gain an early advantage, while others fall behind before their careers even begin. The divide is no longer about experience. It is about adaptability. For the middle class, the change feels even more personal. Many workers sense that the security they once expected from stable roles now depends on skills they must constantly update. The pressure is not about losing a job. It is about losing ground. AI becomes a force that reshapes confidence, ambition, and long-term stability. In this environment, economic comfort depends less on where someone works and more on how well they can work with the tools that are becoming essential across industries. As these patterns grow stronger, a new understanding emerges. AI is not a technology that simply removes jobs. It is a technology that rearranges wages, opportunities, and the structure of economic mobility. It rewards adaptability and penalizes hesitation. It strengthens workers who evolve and weakens those who do not. The future of work becomes a landscape where opportunity expands and contracts based on the ability to use one specific class of tools. And so another question rises. If AI is already reshaping opportunity rather than employment, will there come a time when this technology truly reaches a point where it begins to replace humans entirely? To understand the future, it helps to look at the structure of the American economy itself. Most of the United States is built on service work. Nearly 8 out of 10 jobs involve interaction, support, coordination, or care. These roles depend on human presence and human responsibility, not just information processing. Because of this, the foundation of the labor market is tied to tasks that cannot be handed fully to a machine. Even as AI becomes more advanced, it cannot assume legal or ethical responsibility. Every decision with real consequences needs a person who can explain the judgment behind it. Financial advisors must justify recommendations. Healthcare workers must answer for treatments. Managers must decide how to guide their teams during uncertainty. These responsibilities cannot be automated because they are rooted in accountability. Without a human to carry responsibility, the system cannot function. Accuracy also becomes a limiting factor. AI can analyze patterns, but it does not guarantee that its conclusions are correct. Any system capable of making errors must be supervised by someone who can evaluate context and intent. This requirement slows the speed of automation and ensures that humans remain at the center of the most important work. As long as accuracy matters, human judgment will remain essential. Many industries also rely on emotional understanding. Service workers read expressions and tone. Teachers sense when students lose confidence. Nurses comfort patients in ways that cannot be measured by data. Leaders guide teams through conflict by understanding fear, uncertainty, and motivation. These moments are shaped by empathy rather than efficiency. They cannot be replicated by systems that do not experience emotion. Because of these structural realities, full replacement does not follow the same curve as technological advancement. AI improves quickly, but adoption moves slowly. Automation spreads, but only in narrow tasks that do not require responsibility or emotional reasoning. The result is not a future where human jobs disappear. It is a future where job components shift, where certain tasks fade, and where human roles grow stronger in areas that machines cannot reach. This is why predictions of rapid replacement rarely match what happens in workplaces. The future is not defined by elimination. It is defined by reorganization. Human work does not vanish. It changes shape. As AI takes on routine tasks, people focus more on interpretation, decision-making, and connection. The economy becomes less about repetition and more about meaning. And so the central question of this era becomes clear. The question is not whether AI will replace humans. The real question is how the role of humans will evolve in the age of AI.